I didn't feel ready when I started this show. And even as I didn't feel ready when I started this show. And as I start episode 3, I still don't feel like I know. I didn't feel ready when I started this show. And as I start episode 3, I still don't know if I'm going to have the bandwidth. I didn't feel ready when I started this show. And while I start episode 3 right now, I still don't know how I'm going to have the bandwidth to keep it going. But I heard a podcast on the way home from work that gave me the push to be right here in front of you, right now. The podcast we're going to talk about today is an interview with filmmaker Robert Rodriguez on the Tim Ferriss Show. Rodriguez is best known for stylized, action-packed films like El Mariachi, Desperado, and Dusk Till Dawn. But the interview particularly resonated with me because I was a teenager growing up in the 90s, and my friends and I loved to watch Robert Rodriguez movies. And it was at that same time that we got into making videos ourselves. Okay, let's talk about what I learned on this podcast. One of the most inspiring topics in this interview was the importance of embracing your limitations. Okay, now I know that most of the people watching this who have huge, ambitious goals are still saying, yes, it's a great idea to embrace my limitations. But no matter how much I believe in this thing that I'm doing, I just don't have enough money, enough time, enough friends to help me get to where I need to go. It's true. We all have limits. We all have to make trade-offs. But often you're not as limited as you think you are. And limits don't have to be the enemy. Limits can be the cause of you doing extraordinary things you didn't even know you were capable of. I run a business, already host a podcast, I have a 3-year-old, and my condo doesn't have that much space to shoot. So what? And I forgot to record this line earlier, so this is all B-roll. Good. Robert Rodriguez made his first feature film in 1991, El Mariachi. He had $7,725 to make it. Now, a lot of people watching this have never had the privilege of shooting with film. It looks really cool and it's glamorous in a way. I fortunately had the privilege of doing it about 25 years ago when I was in film school. But the thing about film, it takes forever to set up any shot, to get the lighting right. Everything is so sensitive. And if I remember correctly, back then, it was about $50 for 2.5 minutes. Think about it. 2.5 minutes was $50, and you didn't get to watch it until after it was developed. He didn't have the perfect gear. He didn't have that much time. He had what he had, but he made something with a different flavor and style than some Hollywood film with a big budget could have done. He shot it on location in Mexico, at a real jail, with a real warden and guards as actors. As I listened to the podcast on the way home, I started thinking about my limitations and actually got excited. How could I work with the small space and the limited time, maybe 6 to 10 hours a week, to get this show done? And so when I got home, I did what I've been doing a lot lately to get advice. I went to ChatGPT. And me and Chatty went through the whole production process, and we came up with ways to batch the tasks in order to keep things going efficiently. And we did it based on concepts from a course I've been taking for YouTube. We also came up with the idea to put markers around the condo to remind me where to set up the camera for the next shot. That way I don't waste so much time just getting going. Manifest who you are being. This is something I've been working on with a life coach the last few years. Before you get bogged down worrying about how you're going to accomplish some daunting task, think about who you are being and then claim it. In the interview, Rodriguez talks about printing business cards before he made his feature film. It made him a professional filmmaker. So making a feature wasn't crazy. It just made sense. Rodriguez tells people to not call themselves aspiring filmmakers. You have to call yourself a filmmaker. If you don't believe it first, nobody else will. That mindset hit me hard. It speaks to a lot of us, whether it's business or creative pursuits or personal goals. I am a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. Why is that weird to me? Why is this the first time I've ever said that, even though I've had 3 YouTube channels over the years? Heck, I had a channel in 2007. It was awesome. It was a reality show about my search to find the Jewish woman of my dreams. It's called Jew Complete Me. And I didn't find that Jewish woman of my dreams for another 9 years. And it wasn't on YouTube. And here I am today, finally embracing what I am, a badass YouTuber. Rodriguez reminded me that you don't earn the title. You claim the title. You print the business card and let the action catch up. If you're hesitating about starting something big, like a YouTube channel or a business, it's probably not because you don't have the talent or the time. It's probably because you're waiting to feel ready. But here's the truth. You don't become ready first. You become ready when you start. When I decided I was going to have a YouTube channel, I didn't know what it was going to be about. I didn't know how I was going to do it. But I knew that I wanted to come in with a plan. So the first thing I did was I found Ali Abdal's part-time YouTuber Academy online and paid the $1,000 to commit to it. Then, every single day, since the day I started in August of 2024, I have done at least one thing towards the progression of this show. Maybe it's just looking at a video online. Maybe it's coming up with one idea for a thumbnail. Every day, I've done one thing and documented it. And over time, this daily habit became my identity. Now I'm making videos. Now I'm a YouTuber. One of the things that Robert Rodriguez talks a lot about in the interview is the joy and the fulfillment he gets from making films with his kids, not just teaching them. And honestly, for me, one of the hardest parts of doing this YouTube channel is worrying about the time that I'm not with my wife, Stephanie, and our son, Abe. That said, I feel it's really important for Abe to see me creating something that I feel passionate about. And a few weeks ago, I bought him his own camera. It's made for kids. It's blue and orange like Blippi. And after a few minutes, he was just running around, taking photos and making videos. It was incredible. It reminded me of how I work with my dad. We work in a family business. We write blogs together. We even do podcasts together. And maybe that's how his dad felt working with him. Share your passions with your kids, not just the result. Collaborate. It's frickin' magical. So what do you do with all this? First, think about who you aspire to be. Then start being that person. Say it out loud. Write it down. Put it on a card. That's how the momentum starts. Second, use your limitations as fuel. Get them to work for you. They don't have to be the enemy. They're boundaries that shape your creativity. And third, build a consistent habit that supports who you're becoming. Do something small every day, but stay consistent. Over time, those little actions are going to solidify the identity that you've claimed. You don't need clarity to begin. You just need to begin. If this resonated with you, please subscribe and comment. and I'll be back in 2 weeks with another lesson I learned on a podcast.